Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. I am making today a pressure cooker. I don't know how this is going to come out, but we're going to swing it and see if it works. A pressure cooker lamb meatballs with couscous and pickled onions and tahini sauce. Now the first video here is going to be tahini sauce. We have to get that ready first and foremost. All right, now I have two recipes. I have one that Charles at Shahadi's on Atlantic Avenue gave us. His wife was kind enough to share it with us. And this one, and they recommend using this one here for what I'm making, so we'll make it the way they say. Now, shake well. I know how bad tahini sauce can get. I've seen my husband, everybody stirring, and we never thought it was going to get thin. He even had to call Charles and said, look, this is getting thicker. He said, keep on, and it'll get thin. So I'm prepared for this because I already know what I'm up against. If it doesn't come out the way I think I'm going to have to work at it, then I'm going to be happy and this will become my favorite one. But the other one is a lot of elbow grease, as they say. Shake it well, okay. All right, now they want a half a cup. Did I shake this well? No, I don't think so. I'm going to have to shake it some more. Now, what is tahini sauce? It's a whole bunch of sesame seeds ground up. And when you add liquids to them, they get thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker, and then finally they thin out. So see, I know what you have to go through. How am I going to use it? I'm going to use it this way. Let's unscrew it. Half a cup. I know. Some of you sit there and I say, and you find it funny that I argue with recipes and stuff. Well, I have to because I have something under my belt. And that doesn't make sense. Like this one says pressure cooker meatballs. I'm questioning that already. I haven't even gotten to that stage. We're just in the first part making tahini sauce. So I got a half a cup here. Now they want us to add half a cup of water. Oh, this I think is going to look a lot better than what I usually go through. Okay, you want a half a cup of water. That takes us up to a cup. Okay, we got a cup. Now you want lemon juice. Okay, they said that's going to be 2 lemons. That's 1/4 a cup. Well, I'm not pouring it in there because the seeds will go in there and I'm going to have a mess. So I'm going to cheat. I'm going to use this. And that's a dry cup. But I'm going to use it because all my other cups, measuring cups, except for my quarts and half-gallon measuring cups, are dirty, so I'm going to have to use a dry one. Okay, so we put the juice in here and see if we can get 1/4 of a cup. Really? Yeah, 1/4 of a cup, okay. Well, they are right. You do put lemon juice and tahini and some water. No anything different. They said this is going to take 2 lemons. Now, if you need lemon peel, you can peel all the skin off and dehydrate it, grind it up. You have lemon peel. I already have a lot of lemon peel. If you have a lot of lemons, you can can the lemon juice and make your own lemon zest. Then you actually use the whole thing. Only the seeds. Well, unless you want to plant the seeds. Okay, I got that going. Now they want 2 cloves of garlic minced. This is where it differs right here with the old recipe that I had. Taffy, what is wrong? Huh? I see you. Yes, I do. I got a very insecure cat. Unless he's lovey-dovey 24/7. No. I can't pet you now. I'm cooking. We have to get this done early. This is 1 large garlic. They want it minced. This is another way of mincing. Wasn't that fast than doing it the other way? See, there's different ways of doing things. Put that in there. Okay, now you're going to get a fork and pray that this mix is much easier than the other one. Another thing we love very much that Charles introduced to us. Oh, this is so easy compared to the other one I've had to do. See how it's getting thicker now? It was watery, and you keep on, you keep on, you keep on, you keep on. And as you do this, it'll get creamier. Oh, that's Tahini. This is an easy one to make. The other one kills my arm. Okay, they say salt and pepper to taste. So we're going to be tasting this. I'll put that in. Get some peppers in. When you first start, you'll see mixing it, it's separating, and then you just keep on going until it's mixed. And you see it will get thicker too as it sits. As you can see, it's getting thicker. See how it's getting thicker? It's not watery like before. Now I'm like my husband, pour more salt in. All right, they want this to sit, so you're gonna have to let this sit. Good 30 minutes. Okay, step number 2. You have to get the onions ready, so let me, I have to go to a different page. We're going to make a quick pickled red onion, okay? We're not going to do it the other way. As a matter of fact, I haven't even pickled any onions yet. Okay, got this page marked. Yeah, I need it. Let me get the stuff out and I'll be right back. Okay, now we're going to get ready to make the quick pickled red onions. Vinegar, sugar, and salt. All right, we need 1 cup of red wine vinegar. Another measuring cup. I go into my measuring cups. I am not kidding, I am going through measuring cups today. And as many measuring cups as I have, I'm going to have to go buy some more. It's very, very typical of me. So that is 1 cup of red wine vinegar. What's he throwing on that? Well, I don't know what they're doing. They're doing something up there. And to this, we're going to add 1/3 of a cup of sugar. As you can see, it's going to be fast. And then you're going to need 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Okay, that's it. We're going to put this on a low heat, or do they want a high one? They want us to bring it to a simmer over medium-high heat, stirring occasionally until the sugar has dissolved. Then we're going to put it together. So we're going to be stirring this. I'm going to be stirring this until it comes to a simmer. A simmer is a low boil. So I'm going to be doing that, and I'll give you a break, okay? Okay, now it's time to get the onion ready. I'm going to need a small bowl. It does not say what size onion, so I could not tell you. they want half moons. And that's what they call it, the shape that we're making, half moons. And they want them thin. Stir periodically to make sure your sugar is dissolved, because it has to be dissolved for what we're doing. If you don't use all of these, you can put them in the refrigerator, and they will last up to a week. So if you're thinking about making hamburgers and you want pickled onions on them, this is a nice way of doing it. You wouldn't have to buy them. Don't worry, I'm not done with it yet. Oh, we're going to have to make the meatballs next. Well, these are going to sit for about an hour when we put it together. Okay, as soon as it starts to simmer, which is a boil, now you can pour the onions in the pot here, or you can leave them in the bowl, whichever way you want to do it, okay? I'm going to do mine this way. If you leave them in the pot or a bowl, you're going to have to cover them and let them sit for about an hour. Well, I don't have to worry about that because I'll be packing lunches. Now we are ready to get the meatballs ready, so give me a minute. Okay, in a bowl, we're going to put 3 tablespoons of panko plain bread crumbs. Alright, now in the tahini sauce, you only want 1/4 of a cup of it. This tahini sauce is good. Oh, I'm gonna have to make falafels again. We haven't had those in too long, and I'll have to make the bread for it. Gonna pour it in here. I say what? Yep. I want you to use a fork. I'm going to mash this up together. Okay, what are we going to do after this? You want us to mash it till it forms into a paste. See what happens when we get cooks from all different countries and we start mixing up our food and seasonings and stuff. We come up with so many new dishes. I'm still mashing, don't worry. They do tell you to use a fork when you do this. I think that's a nice paste, don't you? All right, now they want us to add 1 pound of ground lamb. Yes, my butcher got that for me. I was very happy when he did that for me too. Two tablespoons of mint. All right, well I have to chop that up because I want fresh mint. A half a teaspoon of cinnamon. Half a teaspoon of cumin. Whatever you say. One person says it one way, one says it another way. And 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Okay, another thing is you have to add 2 tablespoons of chopped mint. Told you I wasn't done with the cutting board. I knew I wasn't. I want to talk to you about something. You notice how you wake up and they're talking about you get that bloated feeling, so if you buy this, you'll get rid of the bloated feeling and you'll feel better and all. You know what the bloating feeling comes from? It comes because you eat at night. You're supposed to, it takes 5 hours for food to leave your stomach. And it's got to work its way through the digestive system to come on out. Most people go to bed, or they'll drink or eat and then go to bed. That food sits in your stomach. The stomach goes to sleep at night because other organs wake up to take care of business. So half our organs are up during the day while the other half sleeps. And then when we go to sleep, the half that was sleeping wakes up, and the ones that have been working all day sit there and go to work. You know, taking care of the body. So the body's constantly moving, you know, doing something on the inside. So that food that sits in your stomach that you eat about 8 o'clock at night or later, or you go drinking and you come in and you go to bed, that's sitting in your stomach. So that builds up rancid. Rancid is what it is, rancid food sitting in your stomach. So when you wake up, you have bad breath because the food's been sitting in your stomach instead of, you know, moving through like it should. And that causes you the bloatedness. Now, when you think about the body and how it functions, you shouldn't eat anything I'd say 5 to 8 hours before you go to bed. If you have anything, you can have water, but you should not be eating or have anything in your stomach. So if you wake up with bad breath, or you wake up bloated, it's because you're eating out of time for your body. You want this minced, right? Okay, and mince it up. That causes the bloatedness that you people have. My last meal, 99% of the time, will be around noontime. Sometimes a little earlier because I go to bed earlier. I'll eat my food, and the only thing I have after that is water. So nothing's going to cure you of your bloated feeling, though they're lying to you on the internet. The only thing that's going to get rid of that problem is when you quit eating and going to bed, or drinking before you go to bed. You'll notice that when you don't eat and go to bed like that, you wake up, you don't have bad breath. You don't have that blotchy feeling that you have in the morning. And your body doesn't even have time to clean it out. What do? After you've drunk all night or something like that, you go and have a cup of coffee. Don't flush your body out. You're just adding more to it. So the body backs up and you get constipated. But that bloatedness that you feel is because you're eating and then going to bed. The food is rotting in your stomach. You become poison. Oh. So you've done that to yourself. So that's what causes that bloatedness. Rancid food. Each of my sons eat, and they wake up and they're bloated, and you can see their face looks a little swollen and all. That's poison. The food rotted in their body. The food can't sit there forever, you know. we're going to mix this up. So now you know where it comes from and that you caused the problem. And in time, it builds up to indigestion, ulcers, constipation, and a lot of other problems, digestive problems. And because the digestive system has poison food coming through it and the body absorbs it, you start killing the cells on the inside. You go through a ritual disease time. You're sick. I'm mixing this up thoroughly. It has a nice smell to it, that Tahini and mint. You can smell it together. Why did I put the measuring spoons in there? Oh no, I got them over there. Good. Leave them over there. I need them there. So I'm not going to allow the lies to go on the internet and everything else. Be a spokesperson for somebody. You should use it and you should believe in what you're using. If you're going to tell somebody something, you can't just scoff it off and say, we'll do this, this, and this, or believe it just to get paid, because if you're doing it just to get paid, to get your subscribers to buy the stuff, that's not helping them. That's why I don't believe a lot of the stuff that I see on the internet. And I hear people and they say, oh, this is the greatest, this and this, and look, I can say something. I'm 72. I don't have any diseases. I'm not on any medication. I do have trouble now picking up 40-pound bags. Maybe 39 or 38 is my limit. 40 I'm struggling with now. But the thing is that for my age, most 72-year-olds you will find in a nursing home. Or you'll find them not seeing 72. Especially the men. They are the ones who leave their wives behind a lot, unless her side of the family has a sickness and then she'll go first. Or an accident. Most of the time, it will be the men. I've talked to some people at the store where I shop, and they say, I don't think I'm going to see 72. I don't even think I'm going to see retirement. And I'm listening to it, I say, oh my God, you know what they're saying? Okay, they want you to make 1.5-inch meatballs. They're talking big meatballs. That should be about the size that I want, I think. It's going in a pressure cooker. And look, they want it in the pressure cooker. I'm questioning that, okay? So if you see a look of question mark and unsurety, that's because they want me to do it in they want this in a pressure cooker, okay? I am just trying to wrap my head around meatballs in a pressure cooker. So all your bloatedness and everything, when I eat or have something and go to bed about 3 hours later, I wake up with the same problem in my stomach. It takes me a couple of days to get it back. So I'm not too quick all the time to want to eat. So our big meal in my household will be lunch. What you call Americans lunch, Europeans call dinner. And at night, we're pretty sure we're not going to eat, and we have to be starving before we'll put something, because we know how we're going to feel the next day. And they learned that. Should be a little smaller than this. I'm working on getting 1.5-inch meatballs. So, for all of you that drink and stuff like that, and eat late at night, understand what you're doing to your body. So when you get older and you end up with the indigestion, digestive problems, heartburn, illnesses, you can look at your lovely self at the mirror. Listen, my grandmother and my mother said, the person who looks back at you in the mirror has given you every problem you've ever had, health-wise, because you didn't listen. I listened. I didn't want to be sick. But I advanced from my mother's cooking. Other than that, I probably would have had arthritis if I continued the way she was cooking. Seems everybody in my family has arthritis but me, but none of them like the way I cook. They cook their way. Well, fine. My older brother, he said, I eat everything in front of me. Just because you eat everything in front of you doesn't mean that it's healthy. If the female in the family or the cook doesn't know what they're doing, or they like to buy instant food, or, oh, I don't like whole wheat. My mother wouldn't use whole wheat, and I was the one who was always asking for whole wheat. And she would buy it after I carried on. Please, Mommy. And I was happy when I ate it. But she liked white flour. The whiter the better. But that was her time. That was the big thing. Just because it's a big thing doesn't mean that it's always right. I mean, I'm not going to listen to them. I'm sorry. I'm just one of those people that's going to get hard-headed. They cannot prove to me that whole grains are hurting me. But they hide the fact that chemicals can. That's why I don't believe. Don't believe them when they start talking. So be careful what you listen to on the internet. If they're just being a spokesperson for something to make money, they'll say whatever it takes to get that paycheck in. See, I'm not good for businesses. Because number one, I'm going to try it first. I'm not going to support it unless I've used it and I can see the results on it. I mean, I would have vouched for Bare Minerals. So I saw what it did and it was good. And then they got bought over. Chemicals changed on it, and I wouldn't support it. You know, for so little, we are getting a lot out of this. I mean, they asked my opinion about a lingerie piece. And I told them there is no support. It makes women look like old ladies with their breasts hanging down to their waist or their navel. I didn't say anything nice about it. I said it has to go back to the drawing board. It's just for looks. Do you know they wouldn't even send me anything after that because I told the truth? I told the truth. I read the other one. Oh, this is such beautiful lace. And this and that, and I'm saying, you liar. You know, well, that's me. I'm going to go there, you know. So I said they wouldn't want me, you know, unless it's a good product. If it's a good product, I'll sit there and tell you, like cast iron, oh my God, if it's all cast iron, it'll last, I know, 1, 2, 3, 4, it can go 4 or 5 generations and it's still going, so cast iron, I would definitely. But I use All Clad and Cuisinart equipment. I have no problem with it, and I keep on using it, and it's very good. I would recommend both of those and the cast iron. Would I recommend, this one's a little big. I'll put it on that one. Let's bring this down a little. Okay, let's put it with this one. Hey, I got 3, 6, 9, 10. That's a good amount, and these are a good size. So manufacturers don't like me. Okay, now what you want me to do? Probably pressure cooker, Tahini. Okay, my glasses, and we'll get going. We got our meatballs. You can see them right down here. You saw me rolling them. They're all rolled. They want them about 1.5 inches. I'm somewhere in the vicinity, maybe a little bigger, but that's all right. Let me go get my pressure cooker. How much oil do you want in here? Only that? Listen, I'm going to have a heart attack right now, what they want me to do. Oh, you got to be kidding me. I don't have an electric pressure cooker. So we're going to have to do this a little different. All right, put these on the side. Now they're telling me they want me to do something else. This only works in this kind of pressure cooker. Yeah. Why buy an electric one when I have this one? I have a slow cooker. This recipe will only work in an electric pressure cooker. Watch me. You're probably saying, you're going to really do it? Yeah, I'm going to. But I'm not going to pressure cook it. All right, we need 1 onion chopped finely. All my onions are large. So we're going to do this a little different. Don't worry, it's only basil and tahini sauce that you're seeing all over the place. You want this one finely chopped. And we have to clean that off so I can work. So I'm going to use my pressure cooker, but what I'm going to do is make sure I don't put the lid on it. I'll put another lid on it so it won't be under such high pressure to tear the meatballs up. Though I almost want to think a Dutch oven would do the job just nicely, but I'll go this way. Because I can't see buying an electric one and then having a regular one. Look, it's bad enough I have enough equipment I don't have room for, but I wouldn't even ask my husband to sit there and buy me one if he was alive. I said, don't you buy me an electric one for this stupid recipe. I'll make it work another way. that salad I made yesterday. My son said, "Mommy, I don't like biscuits on my salad." And I said, "What are you talking about?" The cheese was on it and shaped in the patties that I made him into yesterday. He said he was heading out to the gym. He was telling me, "I don't like biscuits on my," and I said, "That's not," and I started laughing. I said, "Well, he'll find out when he comes in and eats." Now see, meatballs have to be sauteed. All right? So that'll be easy enough for us to do. And I have instant stuff here. If the couscous takes a little longer to cook, I'll take the meatballs out, put them in after. It can be done, you just have to do it differently, that's all. Have to dance around it. When you cut like this, make sure you leave your knife bending up, because if you leave it straight like this, it'll start tilting down like that. That's why you give it pressure to keep it up. Contractors know that when they use a saw, it'll start going in one direction, so you have to put that force against it to make sure that it stays on track of where you're going. Now they use electric saws, so I don't think they have to. If you have a manual saw, you have to. I still want to do this in a Dutch oven. So be patient. I might take the pressure cooker away. You're actually seeing me think. Oh yeah, we don't have to do it like this, but we will do it like this. Okay. All right, you're gonna add, we could actually use the other thing better. I don't want to use this. I guess I'll get the pot out. We should be able to do this in a Dutch oven. I'm reading how it's going together, and we can. If you have an electric one, I'll read the recipe at the end for those that have electric pressure cooker, and you can do it that way. Shoot! Don't you burn! That's my cookbook. The match broke and dropped into my book. I'll show you. See? It just broke. I was very disappointed in it doing that. It had a crack in it. No, I'm not putting you over my cookbook. I'm going to do that. Alright, I'm putting a tablespoon of oil in this. That's what they want, into the pot. Now what we're going to be doing is we are going to, until it shimmers, then we're going to add the onion and 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and cook until the onion is softened, about 5 minutes. Then we're going to add some more seasonings. Okay, so let me get you over here. You'll never forget that, burning my book. Oh man, if that book went up, you would hear me scream. I hate losing my cookbooks. I get angry when people steal them. You can imagine how angry I get if they burn them. But that match broke. Literally, I'll show it to you. I didn't believe it. Had a weak point in it, right there. You see that? And it broke while it lit. So this could be done in a Dutch. There's no reason you can't do this in a Dutch oven. They want this on a very, very high heat. Just letting you know. When this shimmers, then we're ready. Now on the side, you're going to put in a tiny little bowl half a teaspoon of cinnamon. We're going to be using it a bit. And a half a teaspoon of cumin. Or cumin, however you wish to say it, just depends on where I'm at, people say. Put your onion in. Put in 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt with it. An 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne to your cinnamon and your cumin that you're putting together right now. I'm going to turn this down. This is really hot. you're sauteing these onions, they'll get translucent. You're going to need a cup of chicken stock. I'm using bone broth, but the bone broth I got from chicken bones. So I'll have the flavor of chicken in this, but I wanted to cook those minerals out of the bones instead of just having the flavor of chicken. I wanted those nutrients pulled so I can sit there and make this dish more nutritious and filling. I'm not going to read the ingredients, but I'll read the instructions for people who have an electric pressure cooker. I have to do it this way because mine is a stove. I think the hardest thing that I had, 30 seconds for the other half of the teaspoon of cumin and cinnamon and the cayenne, which is 1/8 of a teaspoon. We're just going to stir it until fragrant, which is about 30 seconds. Does have a nice fragrance. Add 1 cup of chicken stock. I'm using broth in place of it. Where did I put them? Going to put the meatballs in now. Okay, you're going to put this lid on and bring it to a boil. Now, if you have an electric pressure cooker, I'm going to have to read that recipe to you, how to do it. The ingredients are all the same, but I'm going to read how you're going to have to do it because the points of the pressure cooker I'm going to have to work with and change it. Boy, I have never. Gotta get these ready. Okay, I have that going, so we're going to get the rest of this going. You want these ribs? Half a cup rinsed. Okay. Half a cup. Mine are already chopped, so I don't have to worry about that. I do need a little more. Okay, roasted red peppers, they want them jarred. They want them rinsed and patted dry. Just letting you know, that's what they want. You can do that. That's like a pressure cooker almost. I'm gonna have to figure this a half a cup. And if you have the whole ones, you're going to have to chop them up. Mine are already chopped. They just say they want them jarred, rinsed, patted dry. That's it. If you have the whole ones, you're going to have to sit there and chop them up. I saved myself a step. Okay, we have to wait for those meatballs to cook. Turn your flame down to a simmer and we are going to cook those. It won't take long and I'll be back. Okay, you're going to need a cup of semolina. Scratch that. You need 1 cup of couscous, which is made from semolina flour. And this is what it looks like. Just like that. Okay? Boy, did I say that, and I left one whole fall out. Okay, the meatballs should be just about done. That's why I turned them down and simmer, because I know we're going to be cooking in that liquid. That's why they wanted it done in the other one. And I know I can't do that. They've been cooking a bit, so I'm going to get a slotted spoon and get them out. Now they want you to put the bell peppers with the chopped up, the jarred, roasted, whatever they want to call it. I'm putting it in right now. I'll bring you over. Don't fall. Let's see if there's anything else. We put the couscous in there too. Okay, we need, yeah, we're going to be doing that. We need lemon zest. Because that's exactly what I need. Getting better. I pretty much got it. The juice from it. Okay. We're going to let this cook. Okay, we're over here. We have to wait now, and I'll go see what else we have to do. Okay. Oh, two. Boy, I tell you today, my tongue doesn't want to work. Chop up some fresh mint because we're going to dress it with that. I'm just waiting for the couscous, and we'll be done. Okay, I've given you all the ingredients, but for you who have an electric pressure cooker, I'm going to read the instructions straight through. You already know the ingredients, so then you can see how to work your electric pressure cooker, because I don't have that. Using a fork, mash 1/4 cup Tahini sauce and panko together in a bowl to form paste. Add ground lamb, 2 tablespoons of mint, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and knead with hands until thoroughly combined. Pinch off and roll mixtures into 12 1.5-inch meatballs. Now, using the highest saute or browning function, heat the oil in the pressure cooker until shimmering. Add onion, remaining 1/4 salt, and cook until onion is softened. about 5 minutes. Stir in the remaining a half teaspoon of cinnamon, remaining half a teaspoon of cumin and cayenne, and cook until fragrant, about 30 seconds. Stir in broth, scraping up any brown bits. Add meatballs to pot, lock lid in place, and close pressure release valve. Select high pressure cook function and cook 1 minute. Turn off the pressure cooker and quick release pressure. Carefully remove lid, allowing steam to escape away from you. Using slotted spoon, transfer meatballs to a plate, tint with aluminum foil, and let rest while finishing couscous. Using the highest saute or browning function, bring liquid in pot to simmer. Stir in couscous, red peppers, and lemon juice and zest. Turn off the pressure cooker, cover, and let sit for 10 minutes. Fluff the couscous gently with a fork and transfer to a serving platter. Arrange meatballs on top and drizzle with the remaining 1/4 cup tahini sauce. Sprinkle with pickled onions and the remaining 2 tablespoons of mint, and serve. I hope that helps you with those of you who have an electric pressure cooker. So let me get back to what I'm doing. Okay, here's the couscous, and this is what it looks like. Okay, here are the meatballs, all done, and you saw the tahini sauce. All right, now we've got to check our onions. They're going very well. As you can see, they still have to sit another 30 minutes, so the rest of this will have to wait for it to put it together. And you saw the tahini sauce. So what you're going to do is you put the couscous in a bowl, you put the meatballs on it, you put the red onions on it, pour the tahini sauce all over it, and then you sprinkle with some fresh basil. That's it. The whole dish is done. So listen, you take care. Bye-bye.